and you join me at the Essex Carp Syndicates Mill Lake. That was very heart in the mouth stuff underneath them trees. Well, what a mega start, and I'm surprised it took as long as it did. I'm watching 4 fish underneath the tree. All of a sudden there's a big bow wave over my spot and I thought it's got to be a bite. Yes. What a lovely carp that is. It's been an absolutely mega session. The bites are coming thick and fast now. Welcome to Mainline Baits TV, and you join me at the Essex Carp Syndicates Mill Lake. I got here about 2 hours ago and I've had a good look round. The lake itself is about 8 or 9 acres, loads of lovely overhanging willows, lily beds, reed beds. It really is a picturesque place. The stock is about 90 fish, the biggest is around 45 pound. I wouldn't say this is an easy lake, in fact it's very tricky, and we're just coming off the hottest day of the year. So in the last 24 hours, it's not done a single bite to 5 anglers. So we know we've got a tricky one. I found some fish under some trees, so I've just whacked a bucket in that swim, and I think that is a good place to start because location is everything. So that's all loaded. Scoop of ISO fish with a little bit of a mix that we'll go through later. I'm going to drive it down underneath these trees where there's been 5 carp for the last few hours. One of them is a really nice fish, but yeah, the great thing about a bait boat is it's so stealthy. So I can creep that under there while sinking the line. It's absolutely brilliant. And the fish has just rolled under that as we're putting the boat out. I'm going to aim to just go under that branch there, which is a good point. There we go, it's just touched it. I'm going to drop now. I reckon it's only about 2.5 feet under there, if that. And that's a good place to start. Well, here's rod number 2, same mix as before. I'm going to sail that out now under the opposite end of the tree. This one is going out a little bit further, so it's down the bottom of the shelf. So when it cools down tonight, they move out from under that tree into a bit of deeper water. I'll have a bait there as well, which is where this one is going now. Water there will do nicely. I'm just going to drop it now. And that's about 5 or 6 foot there. And come out nicely. Well, that's the third rod out, a little bit different. I've put that in open water. There's a channel out there that's about 9 foot deep and it's silt. And they do get in there this time of year quite a lot, but I'm quietly confident on the 2 on the trees. This one's going to be like my roaming rod. If anything shows, I can just reel it in and put another bait to it. For now, I'm happy with this swim, but there might be a move on the cards. Let's see what happens. Well, that was very heart in the mouth stuff underneath them trees. Yes! Well, get in. Oh my God, it's a mega one as well. Well, that was absolutely mental. I was sat there talking to John and I said, I'm going to go and check the tree. Can you keep an eye on the rods? I'm watching 4 fish underneath the tree. All of a sudden, there's a big bow wave over my spot and I thought, it's got to be a bite. And the box has started to bleep in my pocket. I've sprinted down here, really short, fast battle underneath these trees. And we have got one of the Mill's mega linears in the net. Well, what a mega start, and I'm surprised it took as long as it did. There was 4 fish under them trees, and I've been using that ISO fish on here the last couple of sessions, and they absolutely love the stuff, so here's proof in the pudding. I've just gone back up there. There's another couple of better fish sitting under the tree, so I'm gonna get this beautiful linear back and get that rod back out pronto.
You
Well, yet another one of the Mills beautiful linears. And believe it or not, they're not all linears in here. Mitch has done a brilliant job with this lake. The stock is incredible, and hopefully we're going to see a few more. But it's getting dark, it's starting to rain, so I'm going to get this one back, get that rod out, and hopefully a much bigger one will come along. What a beautiful one. Well, I must admit I was a little bit worried about this session with John, because yesterday was the hottest day of the year. It was 32 degrees here. The lake hasn't done a bite in 48 hours, and we're now 8 hours in and I've had 2 fish, which was my target for the 48. And the sun's gone in and it's even started to rain, so fingers crossed for the next 24 hours. Well, it was a quiet night, which ain't unusual on here, because normally I don't get a lot of night action on here. It tends to be early mornings and late afternoons. There's been a few fish showing out in front of me this morning, and I do think they tend to migrate out into the deeper water in the night. Then as this sun comes up through the days, they move back in under the trees. So what I'm going to do is redo the rods on the trees and the open water now. So as they move in, I haven't got to disturb them. The baits are in place, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll catch another one. So when you look at a bait boat, in my views, it's no different to a baiting pole, a rowing boat, or anything. It's just a tool and a way of getting a rig and a bait into a place that maybe you wouldn't normally be able to cast, or getting everything seriously accurate. And all 3 of them will do that. I don't absolutely love bait boats, I just think they're a tool. And today, the swim I'm fishing, underneath that willow is an impossible cast. You'd need either a very long baiting pole or a bait boat. I love the little 750 because it carries about 750 grams of bait, so you ain't tempted to overload it like most other bait boats where people end up putting 2 kilo in it. You're just putting a couple of handfuls and you're looking for a bite with it. Obviously you can use it up to 200 yards, but it's absolutely perfect for a venue like this, the Mill, with loads of overhanging trees, little spots you want to go into. And not only that, they're so stealth. If I was to try and get that cast, I'd probably take 2 or 3, clip in the rod, the fish would move out the area. So I'm driving in nice and stealth, dropping it on their head with just enough to get a bite. So they're absolutely perfect for this situation. And the only thing I'd like to add to that is, if you are fishing a venue where bait boats are allowed, the fish do become conditioned to not putting up with noise. So you turn up and you start spomming, and all of a sudden you're spooking them. I've done it myself. So if you can't beat them, join them. Get yourself a little bait boat and join in. Remember, we're here to catch them, not tickle them. Well, this fish is absolutely rucking its head off, and even had a little bit of a tail walk there. But, yeah, it's a common. Looks half decent fish as well. This time of year, you know, August time, they're empty of spawn and they're so strong and fit, the carp. Mega loads of energy, and this one, he don't want to give up. Come on, mate. That's it. Nice big gulp of air. Surely you're done. Come on. That's it. You must be knackered, because I am. Come on. In you come. Yes. Lovely. That's what we want. Well, I was just about to weigh this one, which was 23.12, when the other rod went. So John was trying to set up my net while I was playing the fish, as well as putting this fish back in the water in the sling. It was all a bit hectic, but there was a slightly smaller fish, a bit smaller than this one. So I'm going to get this one back and we're going to talk about the mix I'm using and how I'm applying it. Right, my ISO fish mix, it's the one I've been using all year. I've done really well on it this year and I want to talk to you about how I make it and why. So basically I start off with Jess boilies. I put about half a kilo in and I get the cutter out and I cut them in all different directions, so you end up with quarters and halves, whole boilies, and that is my bigger food item. Then I add the response pellet. The response pellet acts totally different to the boilie. It breaks down really slowly, sends lots of oils into the water column. So once I've got them two in the bucket, I add the ISO fish stick mix liquid. You coat the bait and the pellet in it, give it a really good stir up. Once that's done, straight in with the ISO fish ground bait. That covers everything with tiny particles. I stir that all in. Then once you spod that out into the water or drop it from a boat, you end up with a really good column of smells and food particles. They then go into the silt, stones and everything. So when the carp come into the area, you hold them there much longer, giving you a much better chance of a bite. So that's my mix. Give it a go and see how you get on. Well, I've just showed you the mix and this is what it can do. Really effective. And another lovely mill carp. And it's mad to think there's ones to 40 pound in here that look like this. Bites are coming thick and fast now, and yeah, the fish are really visiting that tree. Once the sun's up, they're getting in really shallow water and visiting that tree. But what happens, you hook one and obviously it spooks the hell out of them. Yeah, branch hanging off the line. Yeah, basically it spooks the hell out of them, so you have to wait another 3/4 of an hour before fish start visiting it again. This one is absolutely flying. Trying to keep him out of the lilies that are down in the margin here. That's it, turned him round. It's a go from the second you hook them. And yeah, this is a much better fish. Much better fish. And I thought it was, because it went off like an absolute steam train. So, come on you. Well, he's not ready yet. They're all fighting so hard. It's a lovely big linear, this. Big double row linear. Come on, girl, in you go. Oh, no, not quite ready there. That's it. Come on, you. Up you come. It was literally over the neck cord then. Come on. And we have not had one single fish coming easy. They've all literally pulled my arms off. I'm going to take it too easy with this one, but it's definitely the best fish so far. It's always the ones you really want to fight hard and you think, come on, give in. That's it. Come on, you. Gulp of water. Normally when a carp takes a big mouthful of air, it means it's done, but these ones, they ain't read the rule book. They're just doing what they want. Come up, have a look at you. Say, don't think so ugly, and they're off. He is off again. And it's fairly deep in front here, so when they get their head down, they do take a good bit of line. There he is. I'd like to say he's done, but I know he won't be. He'll have another thrash. Come on, you. Come on. You only have a look at you. Come on. Nope. You see that net? And he's off. There we go. Absolutely nailed that fish. Come on. In you come. Yes. What a lovely carp that is. Well, after a battle like that, I like to give him a rest in the net, so I'm going to let him rest in the net while me and John finish our cup of tea, and then we'll have a good look at him. Well, look at that. That is a bloody lovely mirror carp, and come off of that mix we made earlier. Absolutely pulled my arms off this. 28 pounds, well spawned out. But I'm really pleased with this fish. Look at it, how can you not be? It's been an absolutely mega session. We've got one night left, but the bites have come in the day, so if this is my last fish, I'll be more than happy. Right, I'm just going to get the last rod out for the evening, and although I've got some liquid over my boilies and pellet, I can't help but put this Smart liquid on. Ever since it's come out, I've caught so many fish with it, so I've got a load of confidence in it, and it breaks down differently to the other liquids. It's very fatty and it's a much slower breakdown than the other liquid, so I know it's there for longer, putting a lot of smell in the area. You don't need tons of it, it's really good stuff. So less of that. I'm going to get this rod back out because I really need something to eat. Well, you know you've had a good day when you've had to go back to the van to change into your spare clothes because the old ones are covered in carp slime. It's been a really good day today. Like I thought, a few fish has visited the margins as the sun's come out. Tonight I don't envision being that hectic because the nights have been pretty quiet, but perhaps there's time for one more bit of carp slime before I pack up and go home. Let's see what happens. Well, as expected, it was another quiet night like the one before. The nights ain't very good on here, but this morning I've seen a couple of fish just out from the tree, so as that sun comes up, I'm hoping a few fish are going to head in underneath the branches. So I've basically reeled the rod in. I'm now going to refresh it. I've put a fresh ISO boilie on and topped it with an ISO fish pop-up, just half like I've been showing you, so that sinks very slowly and covers the hook. So I'm going to get that in the boat, tuck it in under them branches, and hopefully we can nick another bite before we go home. I'm going to have a slow pack up, get this rod out, let's see what happens. Well, I came here for 2 fish and we've ended up with 6 in what can only be described as tough conditions, so that's definitely a win for the ISO fish. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of the other films that are coming out, and we'll catch you next time.